Hi, in this video, I will be discussing fundamentals of the quantitative research. If you are willing to write a thesis or an academic research, please follow these guidelines along with other videos in the playlist. So usually a research contains five major categories. In a thesis, we usually write these categories as a chapter. Introduction, literature review, research methodology, findings and analysis, discussion and conclusion. So other than this, we might have bibliography or referencing or some appending. So in this video, I will only be discussing these sub aspects. However, in the following video, I will be discussing them in details. So, under the introduction of the entire research, we have the background of the study, the problem statement, the study purpose, the study questions, the study objectives. Usually, these study questions and objectives are defined to specify more clearly the purpose of the study. So then we have study scope, the study significance, or some people say study rationale, definitions of the key terms used in a research, the structure of thesis, and under the literature review, we usually discuss the dependent variables, independent variables, or if we have some mediating or moderating variables, and then the research framework and hypothesis, and concluding with a chapter summary. Here I want to discuss that different people have different needs of research, so anything can be added. So to make it simple, I am discussing some of the important aspects of the literature review. So under the research methodology, we have research approach. In quantitative, we usually have the deductive approach to be used, and then research method, that is of course quantitative. The population of the study, this will contain the target population, sample frame, sampling technique, sample size, and then we have operationalization of the variables and research design containing data collection method. In that case, I would say I don't know right now, so I will eliminate this section. So only stick with the data collection method and questionnaire design, ethical consideration, and the discussion of how the validity and reliability of the instruments will be defined, the pre-test analysis, the statistical analysis of data. This will contain descriptive statistics, validity test, specialization test, and finally the chapter summary. In chapter 4, that is finding and analysis, the researchers usually consider discussing, or what I say, analyzing, first of all, the reliability of the data, whether it is reliable or not. Then any sort of data preparation and screening and discussion of the profile of the respondents and descriptive statistics, exploratory factor analysis, confirmatory factor analysis, and structure equational modeling. These three tests are usually done for the testing of validity, although there can be some other tests as per the requirements of the researchers, but here I will be discussing precisely these three tests to check the validity of the data. So then we have a test of hypothesis. Under this test we have some specialized tests. For example, if we are analyzing the mediation between two variables, we might use a specialized mediation test under bootstrapping or other than whatever the requirements of researchers are. So finally, there is a summary of the entire chapter, including what hypotheses were supported and what were rejected. Then, in the last chapter, there is a discussion of the results. Such discussion is usually done in comparison with the past studies in the similar context, and then we have implications of the research findings, usually the theoretical and the practical implications. So if there is any sort of a limitation in this study, so usually we include such also, and then recommendations for the future studies, and finally the conclusion of the entire thesis or research. So whatever the references are used, so we usually include in the bibliography or referencing. So these are two different terms, so which we will discuss afterwards. So then finally we have appendices to add, and all these things will be discussed in detail in the later videos. Thank you.